All right, guys, so we have to give an update on the story involving Mr. Alford Lewis. Okay, now I did this story maybe a couple days ago about a 19-year-old who went around sucker punching people in a Houston area park as a part of a TikTok prank, in which, again, you just randomly assault people in public. And I have an update on the story. The update is actually pretty tragic, and I'm going to tell you guys why. As this guy has now been arrested and charged with assault with bodily injury and aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, which is a part of the story that was left out of the initial story. Apparently, again, this was a part of a robbery as well, too. So not only was he sucker punching people, but he was robbing them as well, okay? And I want to talk about the story. The reason why I'm following up on this story is because the likely ending of this story is the same ending to a lot of these stories that you see where the criminals get off easy and then they become career agents of chaos until something tragic happens. And this story looks like that is the direction that is going in. So I want to talk about it. Before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know, situations like this are exactly why you should try to protect yourself. But protecting yourself also does include protecting yourself in person, but also your financial assets in your portfolio, which is why the sponsor of this video is Noble Gold. Chances are you've been here before. The chaos in the markets, oil, stocks, just when you thought it was safe and interest rates were rising, new threats are coming out of nowhere. Tensions are boiling from Asia to Europe, and adaptation is the key to securing your wealth. You may not have considered gold before. It's not speculation, but insurance. And right now, you need some insurance. Noble Gold Investments has been protecting investors from disaster for years with precious metals. So if you're worried, it might be time to take a fresh look at gold and silver. Gold is a proven shield for your portfolio and a volatility balance against uncertainty. If it helps, Noble Gold Investments is offering a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with its new IRAs this month. If you open your Noble Gold Investments IRA or roll over your 401k, you can claim your coin today. Remember, crisis brews, portfolios waver, and gold insulates. Secure yourself against threats today. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That is noblegoldinvestments.com, the only gold company I trust. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind.
O'clock, the 19-year-old who admitted to KHOU he was sucker punching people at an area park just appeared in court.
Minutes ago, we learned about the details to the crimes and his bond. Jason Miles has been following this story since Friday. He joins us now live from the courthouse downtown. Jason.
Well, prosecutors requested a $75,000 bond on just one of two charges this young man faces, but he ended up getting a combined bond of $10,100. Now, 19-year-old Alford Lewis appeared in court just within the last half hour or so. We're allowed to shoot those PC court hearings off a video screen. Lewis charged with assault and aggravated robbery related to viral videos showing him sucker punching people, random men walking in Wortham Park. That's up in the Cypress area. Turns out Lewis was also armed at the time, according to court records, something that was not completely clear initially to those of us who saw the video. Here's a little bit of what was read aloud during the court hearing.
In this case, he initially held the complainant at gunpoint. Then, when the complainant refused to give up his cell phone, he hits the complainant in the head and puts him in a chokehold. The complainant advised he later saw videos of the crimes on social media. The defendant approached the complainant from behind and hit him in the head. As his co-defendant was filming the crime, the defendants laughed at the complainant when he asked this defendant, "Why are you doing this?" The complainant advised he later saw videos of the crime on social media.
You may recall I interviewed Lewis on Friday, and he admitted to making a bad mistake, just making videos for views and clicks. His bond conditions include not having contact with his alleged accomplice, the 18-year-old who shot the videos. Lewis also to remain at home between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. He will also wear an ankle monitor. Again, his bond, combined bond for an assault and aggravated robbery charge, $10,100. He made no mention of a gun when I interviewed him on Friday, and at that point, I had not investigated the video thoroughly and was not aware that he was armed at the time. But again, all of this coming out in court today, a young man who admitted again to making a bad mistake, and he's certainly paying the consequences now. Reporting live from the Harris County Jail, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, so again, the tragedy here, guys, is the fact that the judge, despite what prosecutors asked for, a $75,000 bond, agreed to have it lowered to $10,000, and then prosecutors came back and asked the judge to raise it to $30,000, and the judge agreed. Now, again, this is a $30,000 bond for what is assault and battery, along with armed robbery. Let's read about this, because the news is not really doing a good job of explaining all the details of what this thug did, okay? Because, again, that's what this is. This is thuggish behavior. And what is about to happen here is that this is going to be a repeat offender, and is only going to get worse because of situations like this, because he's essentially getting a slap on the wrist. Let's read this. Prosecutors said Lewis admitted that what he was doing was dangerous and asked the judge to raise his initial $10,000 bond to $30,000. The judge agreed. Quote, "We take these cases extremely seriously at the district attorney's office. In this case, the facts were particularly troubling. These boys were out at a park where people enjoy the outdoors and are exercising and shouldn't expect to run into any kind of trouble," said Ashlea Sheridan, a prosecutor with the Harris County District Attorney's Office. Lewis is accused of attacking two men in separate incidents at Wortham Park in Northwest Harris County last Thursday, while prosecutors said another 18-year-old Kingston Miker filmed the attack on his phone. In one of the attacks, Lewis tried to rob the man of his cell phone at gunpoint and threatened to shoot him in the foot, according to prosecutors. When the victim refused, they say Lewis then punched and choked him. So, again, this guy basically committed armed robbery or attempted armed robbery. Now, the victim refused, and then the guy threatened to shoot him in the foot. Again, this thug was armed with a gun. Threatened to shoot the guy in the foot. So when the victim refuses, then the thug punches him and chokes him. Quote, "This man was out doing what any citizen in Harris County would do when he was approached by these two males and attempted to be robbed at gunpoint," Sheridan said. In the other attack, prosecutors said Lewis is seen on video sucker punching a man in the back of the head. They said Lewis and Kingston then laughed before running away. Quote, "They did this for fun and posted on social media, which is simply unacceptable. And I felt, given the circumstances, that the bond needed to be raised," said Sheridan. If Lewis makes bond, he must wear a GPS ankle monitor and be placed under 24-hour house arrest. Miker was also arrested on Wednesday, and he faces the same charges as Lewis. Yeah, so I think 30,000 is too low, right? That's the real crime here, right? Along with these criminals. And this is why you continue to see this happen. He got a slap on the wrist, $30,000, and he's out, right? I mean, at the very least, I mean, I'm thinking what, 250,000, $500,000. Well, why do I say that? The reason why I say that is because these criminals need to be made an example out of. Make an example out of them. Who knows? Maybe he shouldn't have got no bail. Maybe he should just sit there. It's on camera. We see it on camera. We got all the evidence. We know he's guilty. Let him sit his ass in jail until his trial. He can get sentenced, and then we can get another thug off the street. Because this guy is going to be a career criminal. Where's his parents? His parents are nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Haven't seen his mom. Haven't seen his father. Where they at? 19 years old. But again, it's the same pattern of behavior that we see time and time and time again with these criminals, especially the teenage ones. Parents are missing, or, raised by a single mother. Father always missing, right? Father's never in the picture. Has a history of violent behavior. Has a history of getting slaps on the wrist for committing violent behavior until it continues to the point where this thug who lives a life of crime either ends up losing his own life at the hands of another criminal or a law-abiding citizen, or takes somebody else's life, or commits a very, very serious crime, which puts him in jail where they mandatorily have to lock him up for a long time because, I don't know, maybe he attempted to murder somebody. And it happens because when you see the signs that this is a violent person, you don't punish them thoroughly from the get-go. If you throw the book at these criminals from the beginning, if you lock them up and throw away the key from the beginning, they won't do it. They'll stop doing it. They'll think twice before doing it. They know, oh, I'm going to get at least 3 to 5 years for doing some crazy stuff like this. But what is happening is they're getting a slap on the wrist. And because they continue to get slaps on the wrist, this is why they do it. Because they know, well, I'm not really going to be punished. House arrest, $30,000 bond, who cares, right? Once this is done, I'm going to go back to doing it. They're going to go back to doing it. I did a video yesterday about a 13-year-old in Washington, D.C. who lived a life of crime, carjacking at 13 years old. Did it at least 9 times. Tried to carjack an off-duty federal officer and ended up getting smoked in the chest. Because he, again, lived a life of crime, and he eventually tried the wrong person and ended up getting shot and killed. Which this 19-year-old is lucky did not happen to him, because he could have pulled up on the wrong law-abiding citizen who was simply jogging, exercising, minding his own business. And again, this guy, he could have easily lost his life. So again, until you see these criminals be thoroughly punished, until they get the book thrown at them, until they're thrown in jail and you're throwing away the key, you punish them thoroughly the first time around they exhibit this type of behavior, you're going to continue to see it and see it and see it. And there's no doubt in my mind, and I hate to say it, but I don't think that this kid, this 19-year-old is going to learn a lesson here. This is a slap on the wrist. He boo-hoo whining and said, oh, it was bad. He knew it was bad when he was trying to rob these people at gunpoint. He knew it was bad. He knew what he was doing was wrong when he sucker punched them and tried to choke the victims out. Then he want to try to act like, oh, well, he was wrong, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because you didn't get the outcome that he expected. Again, this is crazy, man. What's happening in this country with our criminal justice system is insane. It really is. But hey, I think it's on purpose, right? I think they're trying to destroy these cities on purpose. They're letting the criminals out on purpose. They're being agents of chaos. I think this is what they want, man. I really do. I really do. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.